Welcome to another episode of Word on the Ave. I'm here, Corey Gilmore. Got Randy Anderson with me. Lauren might be popping in. Lauren Jones might be popping in a little later. We ain't gonna we gonna hold y'all too long, man. We just wanted to be quick, man. Just give you a little update and just kind of reiterate and kind of go over some things that we noticed over the past few days, man. As it's been a lot of looting, rioting, looting, riot. I mean, we'll just keep it rioting, putting rioting and whatnot and protest with everything that's been going on. Because the outrage of the horrible murder. Just finally today, I think 4 days after the incident took place, the officer was finally arrested, charged with third-degree murder.
Oh, Corey, you good? Corey. All right, so yeah, pretty much I'll finish up what he was saying. The officer was charged with third-degree murder. And honestly, a lot of people are looking for they were looking forward to him getting something different, and like most likely a first degree murder from everything that I've been reading. So yeah, they truthfully don't believe the punishment was justified. But yeah, hold on real quick. Let me go ahead and add him back real quick, because he might pop back up. All right, there we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you froze up and you got clicked out.
Oh man, what the hell? Okay, man, this shit is.
So pretty much, while you were going, I just finished up. I said that he was charged with third-degree murder, and then everything that I seen online was that people were believing that he should have a first-degree murder charge.
Yeah, or if
left off on.
First degree I guess it's got to be more premeditated, but they'd have to prove premeditation. I think at the most it should be at the very least, it should be a second degree murder. Should be a second degree murder. So, and then they have yet to charge anything to the other three officers. Now I tell you what, the other three, man. Do you what you think, man? You think the other three should go down? But what happened?
Yeah, because they were negligent in not doing their jobs. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to protect the citizens, even if it's from your own people. You know what I'm saying? And none of them protected the citizen. They protected their friend.
That's the cops don't have an obligation. I always remember that cops don't have an obligation to protect the citizens.
But it's supposed to.
No, they really don't. We're supposed to protect ourselves. It's actually ruled in the Supreme Court here. Now we'll just go off of what we got from the video. I'll say that the other two that participated should be charged with murder also. The one that sat there and watched, I think it was good enough that he lost his job. But like I said, going off of Supreme Court hearings and things like that, like cops don't have any obligation to come save you. Now that's what I'm talking about. Those are the different things that we got to get right within our law, where we be able to protect ourselves, but we back ourselves into a corner because, like I said, we continue to advocate for people who are going to take those rights away from us. And it's done, it's done in it's done in a very irrational manner. So we back ourselves into a corner. The other two helped kill them, man. They already had them subdued. They were right there. I mean, like we already, we already went over the video. Dude had his hands in his pockets. There was no reason to have his knee on his neck. Now they're saying that they found that there's no that his death didn't come from any asphyxiation or anything, and it came from he had underlying issues, cardiac, went to cardiac arrest and everything, which is absolute bullshit. Like I said, ain't nobody just gonna have their knee on somebody's neck like that, man. Hands in his pocket. There's nothing supporting him, but his body got his body weight all the way on him. So man.
And speaking of that, John Jones Bones, he had said like that move that dude was using. He said that literally that move, UFC fighters don't use that move on each other because they know it could really hurt somebody. You know what I'm saying? And when I heard it from John Jones, I was like, oh, whoa, all right. And then I heard it from another UFC fighter. Then I heard it from somebody else that does martial arts. And I'm like, oh shit, like this. Oh God, I heard it from John Jones. I was like, all right, cool. That's a cool source. You know what I'm saying? For some information. Then when you hear it from multiple other different sources that are not connected to John Jones, it's just like, oh shit, like that might have been really, really a dangerous move. If UFC fighters and martial artists are talking about they don't do that in the UFC, and you know what I'm saying, they wouldn't do that to other people because they know they could end somebody's life like that. That just threw something at me. I was like, oh shit, oh okay, all right. So that's something that should be looked into. You know what I'm saying? And then allegedly, I guess when the dude had his hands in his pocket, it was to put more pressure on the neck. From you know what I'm saying? That's what I got out of some of the conversations that people were having online.
Yeah.
So
I mean, either way, I mean, it's just clear murder, completely unnecessary. But I wanted to talk about, how the media's just got everybody like we talked about, man, they're exploiting race when talking about this. I want everybody who's watching this right now, comment, let me know what y'all think. But I just don't like the fact that it's focusing. I think they're exploiting this to they're trying to exploit race, like they've always done. It's always been in part of a agenda to exploit, race between, racial tension between people to keep everybody split up. If remember what I tell you, remember what I told you, the KKK and the ADL, which are, look at it, of course, the KKK, they're against Jews. They actually come from the same the same group, the Scottish Rite. If you look up the trail of them, so this is one group supplying both sides of the fight. You also see people like globalists like George Soros, funding Black Lives Matter movement and things like that. And also, when you read the information on the Black Lives Matter website, you'll see some pretty alarming information, if you ask me. But yeah, they're using race, and racism does exist. It's there for a reason. The reasoning, is you got the economic reason, like to keep, like I said, to work in the pyramid Ponzi scheme on people and keeping a slave class. But then also it's the more of a, I guess, say biblical or kind of a historical kind of reason that I really haven't figured out all the way. I'm learning more into religion. So there is racism, white supremacy does exist. All of that does exist, and it's strong. But it's knowing when to pinpoint. Okay, Lawrence said tap them in.
Yeah, I got you. Keep going.
Yeah, no, it's being able to pinpoint, when to label different things like that. And it's kind of like we're just throwing shit at the wall, see if it sticks. Now, could the man been a racist? Very, very viable. You know what I'm saying? Large possibility he could have been a racist, but we tend to just jump to shit when we got enough information to basically like hang the motherfucker already. Like we don't need to throw anything. We don't need to, try to throw anything, see if it sticks or anything like that. I mean, what he did enough was bad enough. We got to deal with everything that we got in front of us at the moment. You can't really prove. You have to be able to prove something like that. You know what I'm saying? Which that's hard to prove with just one moment. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that? Do you believe this is a racist act? I mean, like I said, we could think what we want, but like I said, it's possibly, but just to throw that out there and have that narrative going, it just adds fuel to a fire that, like I said, we don't have any real evidence of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. And I honestly, to jump into a little conspiracy theory bag real quick. So I have it's been Doja Cat. I don't know if you guys know who Doja Cat is, but she was a girl, the girl that made the song Bitch I'm a Cow. You know what I'm saying? It was her. She was, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, or something like that, a couple weeks ago, that she had a whole little debacle, whatever, where everybody canceled her because she was online with some, I guess, known racist people and saying the N word with the hard ER, and everybody was canceling her. And then before that, so pretty much what I'm saying is, they've been baiting this thing out for a while. You know what I'm saying? It's been about 4 times they've baited it out. So they had they had where the young lady died from the police officers coming into her house or whatever without a warrant and stuff like that. When that didn't pop off like they thought it was, you know what I'm saying? They had the Doja Cat thing. No. It was the young man that got killed by the father and son. You know what I'm saying? They got killed. When that didn't pop off like they thought it was, and they had the Doja Cat thing, and now this, you know what I'm saying? And media's been covering all this, you know what I'm saying? And this is the one that they're pushing, like in mainstream and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like they're pushing this hard. So it's just like it's a lot of stuff that's going on in the background that people aren't paying attention to. You know what I'm saying? So they're using this as a distraction. And I don't want to sound insensitive to nobody, but you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what's going on. So was it racist? It looks that way. I truthfully, I don't know.
Like I said, I don't know. You know what proof? You know what I'm saying? What proof does anybody now? And that's talking about before, because now you get a little bit more insight, and you heard he's had like 18 different complaints and different things like that.
All four of the officers have.
Yeah,
they all had priors.
Okay, yeah. Well, I didn't see it, but like when you find stuff like that, it's still it's still just hard to prove, especially you talking about proving in the court of law and different things like that. Like that's a hard thing to prove. Like you just got to deal with you got to understand that you're in a racist world. Of course, the country was built off of racism, so that should be enough to just understand it, everything. But going in and labeling everything, like you just got fucked up people out here that need to be dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Need to be dealt with in the manner that it is. Reason I say that is because it's just weird. Like, how does that work? Because what if they start? A black man starts beats down a white person. Can they say that person was racist? What is, nobody knows the reason why they beat them down. Now, it may have been a confrontation. Somebody may have been resisting. They said he resisted arrest, which it didn't look like it. But like I said, nobody saw it was hard to see the actual part when it got to the car, but none of that even matters. It doesn't even matter. They don't even need to talk about that. And it doesn't even matter if he did anything. Like I said, I don't care if the dude shot 100 people, man. I'm being dead serious. I don't care if he shot 100 people. He doesn't deserve to he did not deserve to be killed, man. Like that's just a human rights thing, especially when dealing from when you're talking about dealing with people who are put in positions of responsibility, man. Do y'all see my screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
So look at this. This dude is working in the nursing home, man. And he's beating the hell out of a patient. This is a black man, right?
Oh, it's about to get real sticky real quick.
Look at him.
Yeah, you might want to cut it short. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be kicked off of YouTube or Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll give it to him. It ain't too much. Like I said, they'll let's see. Look, blood. So we'll cut it right there. Sorry to show blood, but see, so it's you know, of course he said it's because his bed, you know, it's always some type of reason to jump on him. But like I said, who knows what reason that was? That dude could have had something out for white people. Is that a fair, you know, I guess, kind of assessment? He could have had something out against white people, but who cares? Who cares if that's what it is? You got to deal with what's in the moment. He's simply wrong. Am I right?
Yeah.
It's just wrong. So you got to deal with.
He need to be taken care of.
Right. So you got to deal with.
Did, so.
Yeah, you got to deal with shit as it is, man. And you're just seeing, just an onslaught, man. That just everything is black, white, instead of, you know, dealing with the citizens versus you know, the police, which police are backed by, you know, their law enforcement. They enforce laws and different things like that. And then you see how they let everything go for just days on end. And, you know, they got 75 plus officers sitting out in front of the house blocking this dude, man.
Oh, that was over 100.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Did they say what, over 100? I know when I first saw it, it said 75.
Yeah, I was somebody that was with my son or whatever, and they was like, yeah, it's over 100 police officers. That's why the Target got looted the way it did.
Yeah, man. That's just what do y'all think, man? Talk to me.
Lauren, go ahead.
And welcome to the
You're choppy, Lauren.
Welcome to the jungle. No,
okay.
That better?
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know if anybody had the opportunity today to watch what was going on here in Kansas City. You know, they had a demonstration down at JC Nichols, and when I was getting off, it was starting to get a little raucous. You know, I'm talking about you were getting the fuck the police chants. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of that. You know, because the police were basically saying, "Hey, can you guys move this to the sidewalk so cars can get through?" Basically, and so I mean, when you look at the situation as it is now, it's we've digressed into Black Lives Matter, and so then we get to start that fight all over again. Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, All Lives Matter. We get to play with that rhetoric again. You have people, speaking out against the loiterers, saying, you're destroying your own community. See, this is how Black people react. This is how they riot.
I'm a screen share again. You can keep going. I'm a screen share.
Yeah, no problem. So you have a lot of racially charged comments, that have been driven from this incident, and the more information that comes out, the more it gets racially charged, more so than understanding that, in this particular case, with these 4 police officers, this was a total abuse of power. And so that's the standpoint that I've continued to follow this from. It's the abuse of power from by the hands of law enforcement, which is when you look at a lot of these situations as they stand, and we can, even if we solely focused on just the Black murders at the hands of law enforcement, it's an abuse of power. It's a lack of understanding of how to diffuse a situation before it gets out of hand. Because, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it's got to be one powerful guy to be able to fight off 4 cops and actually win. I'm not saying it's not possible. When you talk about, we had the situation that happened in New York with the white lady and the Black man in the dog situation, and how she called the cops because she felt like her privilege was being infringed upon. And so, but again, as you see, I've had these discussions, it's been black and white. It's been about black and white. And I think I'm not saying that it's wrong. It's just not everything. It's not everything. And so, when you attack it, go ahead.
Look at, no, you keep going. I was gonna say, look at this video real quick. So what it was is he told the woman, you just got to ask questions. I'm not saying any of this stuff is fake, but he told the woman that she needed to leash the dog. And then I guess, back and forth between them went on, and then he offered the dog treats, and then this went down. Now pay attention. Like I said, you just got to question these things. I'm not saying it's fake, but so she knows that he's recording. She already acknowledged that he's recording her. She asked, please stop recording. And then she says, while she's being recorded, I'm gonna do this. You just gotta ask questions sometimes. She could be that damn crazy. Gets on the phone.
Nah, it's just that they have what's the word I'm looking for? They feel like they have the right, that they feel like they have the power because they've been doing it for years and years and years to be able to do this.
But who is they?
Listen.
Who is they though?
No, listen to what she's saying. Listen to what she's saying, because there could be people that feel empowered, but I want you to listen to what she's saying when she gets on the phone. This is what I'm saying. You have to listen. Listen. First she says she identifies. See, who does this? She knows she's being recorded doing this, right? And I'm gonna tell them as an African American man.
He was from Africa.
Right. Right.
I didn't know he's from Africa.
And then gets on the phone, so she sits and lies on the phone. She knows she's being watched, and she lies. That should be a charge. She got fired, and of course she gave an apology, but she clearly lies, knowing that she's being recorded. What? Look at that. I ain't being threatened, knowing she's being recorded, right?
What point are you trying to?
Recorded, so she knows all the man has to do is show the cops, and she pulls this. I'm not saying it's fake. There's gonna be people really that crazy, but you gotta think. You have to think. Think about all of the fake stories that we talked about. That we, I've posted on Word on the Av and everything, stuff that has been proven to be fake. You really gotta ask the question, like, what's going on here? What you gonna say?
Oh no, I see what you're saying. you're going along the lines of race baiting by creating a fake video to get people riled up.
Exactly.
I see where you're going.
Watch Van Jones right here. We can get this.
Nah, we gotta listen. We gotta listen to Vance. Come on.
We gotta listen to Van Jones.
And what I was pretty much what I was saying was, white women. That's one of the scariest things in the world is having a white woman start crying out of nowhere and blaming you. It's one of the scariest things in the world for a black man. I don't know about y'all, but that's happened to me on multiple occasions. But yeah,
my wife cries and blames me for things. I don't get too shaken.
Man, I've had all types of man. I got stories, dog. I got stories, man. Like,
is he getting ready to start crying, Corey?
No, Brooke Baldwin does that. Now listen to this. Listen how far he goes. This is even for CNN. This is how low they go. Watch what Van Jones does.
Can y'all hear it? I can hear it.
You can't hear it?
No.
You don't hear it?
No. Nope. No words.
Oh man. So did y'all hear that last video?
Nah, not really.
No. I mean, yeah, you can hear very slightly.
Oh damn.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we all have seen that dog.
I haven't seen Vance. I ain't seen Vance.
I was gonna say I ain't seen this one.
What did he say? Yeah, because nobody's seen
he said he saw everybody seen the other video.
The dog.
I thought you talking about the Van Jones. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can look it up real quick.
Damn.
Well, tell us what he said. Tell us what he said. Because I haven't seen it.
So he says it's not the racist white person in the Ku Klux Klan. It's the white liberal Hillary Clinton supporters.
Oh, okay. I got
who are racist.
I got you.
So they're digging deep they're digging in their bag to push.
Hold on, I got the audio if you want the audio.
You can put that, yeah.
Yes. We saw a white man deprive a black man of his life in public with the entire world.
It got low, can't hear. But you hear it can't
hear.
You heard what he said at the start, Yeah. And like I said, I just told you what he said on that. So now they're even throwing their own, I guess, political side under the bus, man. That shit is like I said, and not dealing with what it is. Like I said, we've had plenty of white people get killed by the cops. It's not saying we're not going to talk about which one gets killed more or anything like that, dog. Like it's like and anybody dies, man. But police, and we're talking about cases brought up to David Glenn Ward, Daniel Shaver, Kelly Thomas, James Boyd, and it's been more. And in none of those cases, and I'm talking about they got the video and it's so egregious. And in none of those cases, the officers got convicted. They beat every case. They beat every case because a lot of people they're gonna say, well, they went to jail and they're probably justice. Nah, they beat every case. But like I said, you're not gonna hear about any of these cases. We're not gonna talk about which one is more or anything like that. If you ask me, I probably think it happens more to black people. But still, if it happens anywhere, it's fucked up. Like I said, I keep bringing up. I'm pretty sure nobody's looked this shit up yet. The dude that was violated, the cerebral palsy man, I believe he was Arabic, that was violated at HEB 2 weeks ago. No, they're not gonna bring none of that stuff up. There's not gonna be any outrage or anything like that. You get stuff like that, and then you see they having a protest, and then all of a sudden you see an officer, quote unquote officer. We still don't know. It's not verified, but you see an officer sitting up there breaking out windows all of a sudden. Well, so alleged officer. Y'all saw that, right?
Yeah, I saw that. They've given them a name or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I did take a peek at that. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing though, at least in my opinion, it's just my opinion, you know, real or fake, you know, the war on racism trumps just about everything except for sexism when they're running for president. But every other thing, you know what I'm saying, you know, racism trumps it, you know, and, you know, we're I'm gonna say what I want to say. We as brown people, you know, are so accustomed to speaking up at what we perceive to be racism that we begin to call everything racist because it looks similar. Again, not the same, similar. And so we want to point at racism as the very first thing. It doesn't mean that that I'm not saying that it doesn't imply that there may have been some traces of it, but it may not be what the overlying reason for something that happened. You know, and so from my perspective, you know, because if you look, if you do some deeper research, per capita, Black people are being killed just per capita because there's less of us than it is white people in America, that is. And so per capita, yes, we are being killed by police at a higher percentage based off the population numbers. But it doesn't mean that, you know, we're the only one that this is happening to. And so, you know, when we begin to react to things like this, you know, I always encourage people to just use your brains first. You know, we had this conversation earlier, Corey, where I said, you know, why would you go loiter and destroy your own community? You were taking resources out of your own mouth out of anger. You know, I want to know if any of those loiterers worked the Target or where everything that got destroyed, you know, or do you have family members that work there that are now be out of jobs because you burn that shit to the ground? You know, I'm.
And who's gonna be paying? And who's gonna be footing the bill? The rebuild that?
Yeah, everybody else.
Taxpayer.
Yeah, everybody else taxpayer.
Now they said this stuff. They said there was an officer. Now they showed, and it looks kind of like him, but like I said, you can't 100% verify. But they said that he went back to the police station. He ran back to the same station that
he works at.
Where's the proof? Why did this person stop filming? Why did they stop recording? These are just the different things that you have to ask. Like, why didn't nobody follow him? If he was that suspicious, why did they let him get away within that manner? So everybody just takes whatever that gets shared, just like they had that fake picture of old boy in the MAGA hat, the actual killer in the MAGA hat. That was fake. That was fake. Yeah. And so we just take any story that gets shared on Facebook or whatever, and that becomes absolute law. Then you see CNN, like I said, CNN are the biggest actors. They are the biggest actors on earth. They have a long history. You got the reporters sitting up there getting. I'm not gonna play that video because it was too.
Talk about the reporters that got arrested.
They got arrested on camera. How convenient. Yeah. But not only did he get arrested, but here's this. Not only he gets arrested.
Yeah, I would have just been like, man, can you pick up the mic so I can talk to the mic and tell? Hey, somebody come get me. I'm going down.
It's taking a little while. Oh, there we go.
Nah, I saw that video.
Yeah, all of them got arrested though. Look, it wasn't just the Black dude.
Look, this is CNN reporting this. This is CNN on the screen from their Twitter site, who is Black and Latino. CNN, Omar Jimenez and his team were arrested by officers early this morning in Minneapolis. Not far away, CNN journalist Josh Campbell, who is white, says he was treated much differently. Like I said, could be, but it just...
And the interesting part about that is, what does that mean? Like, much differently worse? But much differently better.
Well, we can pretty much. We know.
I know. Yeah.
We pretty know what you know.
I'm just teasing. I think, like I said, though, I think the underlying issue amongst all this is that, you know, you gotta think like my man Jay Davis. I shout out my man Jay Davis. Think first, react second. Think first, react second. You know, use your brain before you go out here because you know I've seen so many social media posts saying y'all can't be mad at us, black people, us, because we went and we burn everything to the ground. Like they can, and they would probably have the right to. Don't even take that shit down.
Look at Trump getting everybody up.
Yeah, we know the thugs. You know,
look at Trump getting everybody riled up. Getting everybody riled up. And you look, don't you like how he put he put it in all capital letters.
Highlighted the thugs.
Highlighted the thugs because he knew that was gonna get everybody hot.
And what's crazy is he would probably stand behind. He was like, "I'm not race baiting. I'm using the term."
But he knows it's bullshit though. And I get tired of motherfuckers taking ownership of terms like this. Now where he fucks up. Now this is what I talk about. You gotta focus on where the issue is. The true issue, fuck all the thug talk or whatnot. And he's not talking about the people who were protesting. He wasn't calling the protesters thugs. So shut the fuck up with that shit. Focus on what you got in front of you.
The loiterers.
Any difficulty, we will assume control, but when the looting starts, the
shooting starts.
Not a
Thank you.
Anything like that. We're talking about just flat out shooting. That's
murder.
what y'all need to keep y'all target on. That's what y'all need to focus on. That's where he fucked up. That's the bullshit. I'll focus on all the thugs, and Obama called you thugs too when you were protesting. Like
So are you implicating his statement should have said we will let the law do what it does? Is that what he should have implied? By arrest and prosecution?
I mean, arrest, and you know what I'm saying? And like I said, you go from there, but you gotta sit there and you gotta get the arrest, at least arresting the motherfucker try to resist or anything like that. You know, that's a whole
I seen this.
He just flat out jumped to shoot him.
I'm glad this was the day after my birthday. I ain't
talking about
Twitter.
bringing up
National Guard.
He's keeping it that whole left-right paradigm, keeping it into that shit instead of just focusing on the mayor himself. I'll bring in the National Guard to get the job done right. Of course, you're talking about looting. He wasn't referring to the protest. He was talking about looting, but he has to make it like a whole left-right paradigm. And like Jacob Frey is no fucking saint. Everybody praise him because he called out the officer. That's great, but you do understand that this dude supports gun control, infringement of your rights. How are you going to be able to defend yourself if with those laws in place? That's why your folks keep going to jail, and it's actually legal for them to hold a firearm. And there's less firearm shit like that is less likely to happen when other shit like that, mass shootings, things like that, has been proven. It's less likely to happen when everybody has it because somebody's able to defend themselves. Just like, remember what happened in the church? Think about if nobody had a gun in that church, how many people would have got killed? Down here in Texas? So Jacob, and now you got Jacob Frey. He's implementing. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Now he's implementing curfew laws. Man.
Yeah, nothing good happens after 11 anyway. I mean, didn't your grandma tell you that?
Huh?
Didn't your grandma tell you that nothing good happens after 11?
Yeah. The National Guard has arrived, and they are in Minneapolis and fully prepared. George Floyd will not have his memory in vain or whatnot.
What? Like that doesn't even make sense.
Look. Well, see, here it goes. This is what I wanted to focus on down there at the bottom. It says, you disrespect the memory of George Floyd the minute you call the unarmed people protesting his murder thugs and call for them to be shot. He's not talking about them, you idiots. Talking about looters and people burning down. You think anybody's gonna go along with that? You think anybody's gonna go along with somebody just burning down some shit, burning up, blowing up everything? You know, a black man died in a fire last night. They actually got engulfed in the flames from people, but he was looting, but still he died because people were burning down the shit. It said, they put different rules for the armed white men in Michigan, though. This is what I really want to get to. And we talked about this earlier, right? We talked about this earlier, Lauren. This is a, get this shit out the way. This is a meme. Oh, I didn't mean to have that person's name there. Sorry about that. Don't go to their shit. Sorry about that. But everybody's been sharing this shit. So April 16, 2020 versus May 26, 2020. He's called them good people, and he called the people the people that were, like I said, looting, thugs. It's not comparable because there's not talking about the protesters. But look at this. Where are the black armed militia members? How come y'all black armed militia members haven't gone to the actual state capital of the state they're in and done the same thing? Because what they were fighting against, I even also heard somebody talking about they brought up the Boston Tea Party. And so when they were talking about y'all calling these people, you know what I'm saying that what they're doing is bad, but remember the Boston Tea Party? But think about what the Boston Tea Party was about. It was about taxes. See, people don't even get riled up. They're taught to not even think about getting riled up because they knew what that would lead to if you were able to, taxation without representation. So they were being proactive. This shit with George Floyd is reactive. We always wait till somebody dies for us to I'm talking about black folks, to get outraged. That's what the whole thing at the Capitol was. They were sent up there because they understood it was not about economy or health. Everybody was having that fight about economy and health. It was about their rights because they understood how their rights could be exploited if they allowed the state to impose those type of restrictions and keeping people in the house because, there's a looming threat out there. That like I said, who knows? I think this general consensus though believes that it was self-induced and it's not something that was natural. So why would you allow them to do that? And these people went up there to confront that. But then what did black people do? See, you haven't heard. I looked up and I was like, well, let me make sure. Where's some stories, and there's maybe something that we don't know. Where's stories of black militia members at the Capitol going in? And I'm sitting there looking, and I'm like, I don't see it anywhere except from when the Black Panthers were there, right? I don't see it anywhere. The only time you see it other than that is when they were protecting the black woman who was part of the one who was putting those laws, putting those restrictive human rights abusing laws into place. But because she's a black woman and all they had to do was label those guys like they done every time, like they did in they labeled the Branch Davidians in Waco as a cult. And even who cares if they a cult? The police didn't have the right to do what they did, or like they labeled Ruby Ridge, or like they did old boy Schaefer Cox, who's doing about 25 years right now. All they have to do is label them as a white supremacist. It's not. They will get anybody who rises up against and is a threat to the system. They fucked up, they smeared Bill Cooper's name. You know what I'm saying? And they tried to, they smeared his whole name even after his death, even after they killed him. Y'all need to look up these people. And so we're going up here, but yeah, it's a black woman. All you see is black woman. We keep playing these identity politics, and we're actually feeding in to our downfall. So they go up there with armed shit protecting this woman. So they were up there armed too. But they're up here protecting the demon, the devil, the one that's putting in laws to hold us fucking down and shit. Because all they got to do, this shit like this destroys small businesses, and they can implement this shit anytime they want to, anytime a motherfucking society feels like they want to get independent. Just drop that shit. Just drop COVID-19 or whatever. Like, y'all got to get the hell up out of here, man. And so, like I said, what would be comparable is, how about y'all take y'all black asses to when y'all see, y'all need to understand your law. If y'all not going to listen to me, then listen to what Killer Mike said at the Revolt Summit, because he's saying the same thing. He said, read your Bill of Rights. And so before it even gets to the point where a person is dying, y'all nip that shit in the bud and be like, nah, that ain't about to happen, like them white folks is doing. But nah, y'all wait till somebody dies while y'all were standing there filming it. Like I said, not gonna call them a coward, but y'all sat there and stood and filmed the motherfucker. Didn't help him while he's sitting there, couldn't fucking breathe. And then y'all wait till he dies, and then y'all go tear up every fucking thing. Like I said, y'all mad. I understand y'all mad. They got the right to tear up shit. But then, okay, if you go off that, don't a nigga, then wouldn't that basically justify a motherfucker going around shooting up shit, gang warfare, the eye for the eye, and it's just the same shit that keeps the gang shit going that y'all telling everybody to stop, because they hurt too. Somebody died, so they gotta let that anger out. So what gets changed with all of this? What gets changed even after whatchamacallit? What gets changed even after these officers get arrested? Yeah, we want to see them brought to justice, but what are you going to do to keep rights from being violated in the future? Nothing, because your dumbasses are going to go out there and vote for Donald Trump. Your dumbasses are going to go out there and vote for Joe Biden. Your dumbasses are going to go out there and vote for any other of these fucking clowns. All we got is Trump and Biden right now, but the rest of these clowns, Sanders, all of these people, and they're the ones that are putting y'all in this type of position.
I don't appreciate you calling me names like that, Corey.
I knew he's gonna say some shit like
silly,
that.
Man. Absolutely silly, because y'all don't see any other option. Y'all don't see any other option. Falling back and saying, nah, I don't want no parts of, I won't partake in the adding fuel to the systematic fire. Y'all don't see, y'all, that's not an option to y'all. I guess we gotta choose one. I gotta choose one because everybody else is, and if I don't, it's just gonna get them in anyway. Like, leave it to them. Why don't you just get the hell out the system? Why don't you not get? It's like saying I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because everybody else is doing it. I'm gonna smoke and everybody else is doing it. I'm gonna go, get in the street, whatever the fuck it is. I'm gonna be a racist because everybody else is doing it. Shit, ain't nothing gonna change if I don't participate. Stupid logic, man. Stupid logic. We end up shooting our own selves in the foot.
That also part of what you're saying, though, I would say, though, goes against the law of influence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not to say you're wrong. It just goes against the law of influence. Like, it's for example, it's our job to convince people that this is a credible media outlet to take in. That is our job. So, I think a different way to look at it is make sure that you can vet out what you support. Just make sure you can vet it out. If you can vet it out, it doesn't matter what I am going to say against it. If you feel validated in what you vetted out. Now, I may come back and I may have some rebuttal to what you vetted, but if you stand strong in what you're standing for, then it's only so much I could say. My job is to influence those that don't have a stance or have a shaky stance. And I am going to attempt to influence those that may see things from a alternative perspective than me. But, understanding that they may just not budge is not a bad thing, so to say, unless it's, because you could say, well, that's an infringement on my human rights. Then I feel like, just kind of like situations we're talking about now, that then you have to go to then you have to go to the law to make change, and that's where we're at. And I'm just being 100.
But
that's
people ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna get up for that. They're not gonna get up. They're not reading. They're not paying attention to those different things. They think, like they said, they want the government to step in, do this and that, infringe on rights because it's necessary, and we need to be saved and make sure that we flatten the curb and or whatever. It's always some necessity. They're gonna find the government's gonna find some reason, some way to circumvent everybody's movement to where everybody's actually contradicting themselves. It's like we're being counterproductive to what we're trying to do. We're trying to get liberation. Why would you want anybody sitting up there putting in laws when it says the right shall not be infringed? And like I said, Trump's sitting up there banning bump stocks. You got people sitting out there, the right or whatever, and they're supporting Trump. Things like that, and just flat out, the Democrats, they are just so damn egregious. I do not want to hear anything about no black liberation or anything like that. You sound like a damn fool if you vote for anybody on those Democrats, because I want you to read those HR bills, especially the ones that put those restrictions on you, and I want you to see all the people who are signing those, and it's usually Democrats, things like that. Both sides are bullshit. But like I said, anybody who's taking those basic human rights, y'all can have all the different arguments about healthcare and different things like that. But when you're talking about human rights, the ability to, the things that keep us, which is probably the greatest system ever, even though, like I said, black people have never got a fair chance in this country with it, but it's still, the concept of it is the greatest system that's ever been created. So use that to your advantage and don't let them pull that away. So you end up a communist country. Y'all be applauding China and for what they did and all this fucking communist ass countries. Like don't let them strip that from y'all. If y'all want to sit there, go to this, and then go to the Capitol. I'll let you go. I just want to say, go to the Capitol building. Y'all use their rule of thumb that they were able to fight for their rights and understand what they're fighting for too. See, y'all keeping in the race and left and right type of thing. When they're sitting up there, whether they're doing it for themselves, it affects everybody. Just like Trump put in that law, was sent in that HR bill that was going to go against social media sites. He did that yesterday that are trying to ban free speech. Now, yeah, he probably did it for a selfish reason, I think we can all conclude. But it works for everybody. But because everybody is so brainwashed, they sit up there and say, oh, he's cutting out our speech. He's trying to ban our free speech and stuff like that. I'm like, are y'all even reading what the hell it says? He blocked the FISA bill that the Democrats were trying to push or trying to extend and add more things onto, which is giving the government more freedom for surveillance to survey on their people. Now, what he wants and different things like that, I got to look into it because, like I said, you can't trust him either. But he blocked what the Democrats were trying to push was outright just ridiculous. It was more infringement on, the personal, and they're gonna infringe on our personal space anyway. But they're putting it right out there so y'all can sit up there. Y'all won't even challenge it because y'all won't even read that type of stuff. Y'all sitting there, motherfuckers sitting there over at the shade room and looking at whatever stupid type of shit, man, where they ain't giving you no type of information at, dog. Just giving you a bunch of gossip and shit. Go up there to the Capitol, man, and go in there with your guns and fight, understand your rights, and then fight for your rights. And if it's something comes out different as a black militia, if you get a different response, then you know what to compare it to. Like, damn, how come we didn't get that freedom to walk in there bearing arms and things like that? Or look what the police did. They drew out our weapons on us. Do that. Instead of all this fucking crying, trying to compare what they're doing, fighting for their rights, to a bunch of idiots going around burning shit up. Burning shit up. I don't give a fuck what y'all think. Yeah, they're mad. They have a right to be mad. But what the fuck? Okay, every time we're mad, let's throw a fucking temper tantrum. That's how y'all fucking think. That's what we got a fucking emotional. America is so fucking emotional. That's not just to the black people, but we've been inflicted by that shit. But America's so goddamn emotional and everything that we don't even know how to handle shit from a practical level. So we just throw a tantrum like little fucking kids. And it's not gonna change anything. We're gonna be the end up paying for shit. Because who's gonna go after all that shit's done? Because you see, just like they did in Ferguson when they burnt up anything, you see the cops. What the cops did in Ferguson, they kept the perimeter and they let the black people and white people, to whoever was out there burning up shit, Hispanic, whatever, and they let them burn up a certain part. But you can't come past this part. Don't come past this part, but you can burn all of this up. But they're gonna let you burn. They're gonna let you burn up and let you think you got power. And then who's gonna pay for all of that? Who's gonna be looking for jobs and different things like that when they can't go to work in that community? Because y'all motherfuckers ain't gonna go back out and build that shit back up. Y'all not gonna go back and build that shit up. Y'all not. So where's it gonna come from? And then you're gonna be what we need and we gotta survive and where's the stimulus package and shit like that? Shoot your own fucking selves in the foot. Y'all have every right to be fucking mad as shit. Y'all have every right to be mad as shit. That officer needs to go down, but y'all have to make sure that this shit never happens again. Y'all have to be proactive on those officers. You have to be proactive on these officers. Nobody said shit when that officer got fired last week. You remember the officer in California got fired because he told the other officers, made an online video saying that they should be adhering to the Constitution, constitutional rights, and he got fired? Where was the outrage with that?
It was
nobody moved. There should have been outrage with that shit, but nobody moved. And then when somebody gets killed a week later, y'all didn't cut for that officer. Y'all didn't cut for that officer. Somebody gets killed a week later, or killed, and Breonna Taylor gets killed and things like that. We already talked. It's been all type of different shit. Y'all allowing that shit. And then y'all get mad at Lil Wayne when he says the same thing. I thought y'all loved Lil Wayne. He's got his own opinion, but why don't y'all actually test him and actually, what are you talking about? He's saying, y'all not proactive on shit. Y'all not moving. Y'all are allowing this shit. We are the real fucking government. The people are the government. We dictate what goes on up there in Washington, but y'all giving them the power and got y'all hands out to them. Y'all supposed to be dictating this shit, but y'all too busy chasing the bag, allowing this fake debt and everything to keep y'all chasing the bag more and more. The value of the dollar to drop and things like that, which keeps you working and working and working, and y'all not becoming self-sufficient. If you become self-sufficient, you can pay out more, but you're letting these corporations monopolize without a fight. I'm not saying it's that easy. Easier said than done, but you have to start somewhere. But y'all gonna go back to clowning around, man. So it must not be that bad. Because y'all gonna go, if you can find time to go back to clowning around, trust me, every day I am frustrated about this shit. To the point, man, my head fucking hurts constantly because I am constantly frustrated. I have to sit up there and try to cool down and let me come back down to everybody else's level so I, don't get too worked up. But this shit is what's been going on in this country has had me outraged. I've been fucking outraged because I'm tired of this shit. I'm talking about every damn day, every day. I don't wait till a person dies to be outraged over this. This is ridiculous, man. It's kind of reactive. Everything is reactive. Nothing proactive, man. Nothing proactive, and that's why George Floyd is dead. Y'all got anything, man?
Go ahead, man.
Crazy, man.
What you want me to say, boss?
Yeah, man. I just don't. It's this world we in, man. It's this world.
Nah,
I don't have much power, man. I work a little job, man.
How the hell you gonna ask me if we got something? You start talking.
I'm not about to say that much. I'm not about to say that much more, man. But I'm real passionate, man, and I'm real passionate about this, man. I don't like to see anybody, man. I don't like to see anybody getting fucked over, man. I don't care who you are. I don't care who the fuck you are. I don't like to see anybody getting fucked over. And these people here in America, all over the world, are getting fucked over. But you know what I mean, it's here. It's here in America, and we're giving credence to that and don't even know that we're doing it, man. Yeah.
You can't save everybody, bro. People have to die.
I don't think you're trying to save everybody. You're just
Not trying to save everybody.
Trying to give a perspective of and I know you already know this, trying to give a perspective of how we proactively deal with these things instead of being reactive. I mean, I said this earlier where I said you have to have multiple ways in how you combat this. I do believe in the hashtags and the t-shirts. I do believe in the protests, the marches. I believe in all of that, because I believe that there's a level of validation, at the very least from an emotional standpoint. But I think you have to take it further, and you have to really pay attention to some of the smaller things that I think sometimes we overlook or we take for granted, which is, who are our elected officials that are supposed to be serving us as a community, and vetting those out and not just making it a popularity contest, taking the time to understand, the laws that govern and protect, whether it's on a city, a state, or a federal level, and saying, okay, there's a problem here, prior to the problem actually becoming similar to things that we're seeing every day, whether it involves racism or sexism or, economic unfairness, anything of that magnitude, and so the system is broken. The system has been broken for quite some time. This is not a new phenomenon that we have approached in the last 10 years. This is a lot of the things that we're seeing have been happening, our grandparents, great grandparents can tell us some of the same exact stories that we're talking about right now, which is how that we haven't been proactive in change. We don't even know the beginning of how to, be in solitude with one another to really understand and attack this, the effective way. I'm not going to say right or proper. I'm going to say effective way, because there is an effective way in which we deal with all of this. Like I said, I support it all. I support it all. I support the people in the streets. I support the people, that choose to attack the laws.
Yeah, I love it. I love the laws that I always love the protests. I love the protests.
Yeah.
You won't see me out here talking about, oh, what protest gonna do? No, you got to put that shine that light. I love the protest. Yeah.
It's just super important to take it a step further, and once you're done protesting, on Saturday and Sunday, what are you gonna do on Monday? Are you going to, reach out to your elected officials and say, hey, I'd like to sit down and have a meeting with you, or I'd like for you to come to my city so we can have a conversation about, issues that we see with the laws that we are supposed to abide by every day, and what steps do we take? Because if you're not going to represent us because you're a public servant to me, so if you're not going to serve me and represent me, then it is my duty to remove you from the position in which you do that, because you are not abiding by your obligation that you swore an oath to. And so it's the next steps, that are, to me, are super important. Yes.
Hey, I want you to think about this. Just think about this. Even with when you go off the 4th and 5th Amendments, Bill of Rights was protect personal property, but even in the 5th Amendment, it says if you're gonna shut down, if you need to take over a property or something like that, personal property, the owner of that has to be compensated, right?
Correct.
The owner has to be compensated for them to be able to shut down your personal property. So there has to be compensated for all expenses, to pay employees or whatever it is for what they were making. They have to be compensated. That's in the law. And they sat there and violated that and were arresting people. They're arresting people and calling people out, just like down here in Dallas. They called the hairstylist out. They the black lady and the white lady, they arrested her. Now this attorney general, surgeon general got her up out of there. But think about this, right? So they're supposed to compensate you, right? And all of that thing. They didn't do any of that. First of all, they just shut people down, and then they only had so many funds that they could get to the small businesses, and whoever didn't get to it first, whoever didn't get to it first, they lost out, and then they had to spend it however that they were told to do it, or they had to pay it back as a loan. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So it's bullshit. You're telling people how to use their money, but not only this. When you're talking about leaders, now y'all seen that video, those two videos that you got of the governor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, talking about New World Order or whatnot. One of them went viral or whatnot. But remember, she got on everybody and was talking about putting out disciplining people for being out and about and, getting their haircuts and things like that. And then what did she do?
She needed a haircut.
She went and got a haircut and then told everybody it's because I'm in the public eye. I'm in the public eye and I need to look right or whatnot. Not only this, the WWE in Florida, the WWE was able to stay a necessity, essential business, wressling.
They are essential. I need my entertainment. They are essential.
It needs your entertainment, right. They were able to be essential. And they paid Vince McMahon, rumored that he paid $18 million to be able to keep it up and running. He was able to pay for his freedom. While everybody else was lost out. Everybody else had to sit back and wait for a government check. And not everybody got compensated for, everything that went on. This is madness. This is madness. It's people that are above the law, and we sit up there and we just look at it. Like I said, half the time we don't even know about it because the mainstream media is only going to put out what they put out. They're only going to put out when a black man gets killed because they want black people angry, forever angry and off, off they square when it comes to this country. So you can't even.
Why is that?
Huh?
Say it to him one more time, man. Say that last part one more time. They want us what?
Off our square. They want us off our square, so we can't even start thinking about trying to come together and fighting for rights and different things like that. Because it's like, just fuck everything. We ain't got no rights.
and anger doesn't do that. Yeah. I want to be extremely clear about that. Anger doesn't do that. Rage does. Yeah. We have gone into a rage that has caused us not to think. Yeah. And the crazy part is some of us that are normal thinkers are now, or at least in this particular situation, have supported something that you wouldn't do. So if you wouldn't do it, then you probably shouldn't support it. There's a difference between being understanding and being supportive. Those are two different things. And so you have to be clear on, I understand why they did it, but I do not support what they did.
Yeah.
That's listen to what I said. Listen to what I just said. I understand, but I don't support it. It's a powerful statement because that is where we should be standing. That's where we should be standing. I understand the outrage, but I do not support the destruction behind the outrage. If it's true, I'm not even going to speak on whether or not it was real or if it wasn't, because I don't know. I wasn't there. When somebody comes forward and says, yeah, I was there, it was real. That is exactly what we was doing. Yes, I was a part of it. And we'll know whether it was, 100% factual, but We don't even need to deal with facts. We can deal with theoretics and have the exact same conversation, the exact same conversation. And so, we don't destroy something that was built in your community to help you. Now if there's something that's in your community that wasn't built to help you, still don't destroy it. It's not yours. It's not yours. Maybe you figure out a way to get it out of there without destroying it, by natural causes or whatever the case may be. But you don't have to be destructive. You don't have to get out of character, so to say, to create the change that you're really trying to create. Because what message are you sending to the rest of the world about how you truly feel about that? You're basically telling them you don't care about your community. It's not important to me, and one thing
we telling people that they somebody said telling them that is like telling in the slave days telling them to stop burning up your plantation.
Oh yeah.
You still got this slave mind. So where you gonna go? So you just on the plantation. Where you gonna go? When are you gonna start fighting for yours and holding your ground and fighting for your rights and fighting for your turf? Because everywhere you gonna move, you gonna have the same mindset. The plantation, we don't own this and that. Get ownership of it or fight for it. You feel like you fight for it. It's all this damn land. But y'all here in these big cities because everybody's chasing the bag. There's plenty of land. More than half of the population is condensed in only a few big cities around the country. That's a fact. But we're not taught how to be self-sufficient and start from scratch and whatnot. But when you go fight for your turf, you're like, oh, we don't own this. And a lot of the stuff black people did own, but who cares who owned what or whatnot? You don't want nobody burning down your shit if something goes bad. So why do it to another? Why do it to another person? I don't want to put too much focus on, like that. Like I said, I understand it comes from rage, comes from years of just absolute bullshit. And like I said, the media helping, propagate that bullshit. They're helping propagate it. They gonna keep a focus on black people. They gonna keep it and keep everybody in victim mentality or whatnot. We've been through a lot. And don't come thinking that motherfuckers, y'all don't like what I say. So y'all I know a lot of motherfuckers think they gonna start trying to educate me on black history and different things like that. I'm open to learn, but keep in mind, I've been doing this. I've been studying. I know a ton. Trust me. I know a ton that a lot of people, when you talk about it, people just now finding about Black Wall Street. I've known that for years. People just found out about this within probably the last couple years or so. Different things like that. You don't even know about when the Move organization in Philadelphia with Dr. Africa when they were bombed. Just in the same when they were bombed in the same manner like Waco and Ruby Ridge. You can lump them in. It's all type of different things. The Nicaraguan scandal, you know what I'm saying? That the Iran-Contra. Ricky Ross was a part of that. Come on, man. I know how all of this started. Y'all can't sit up there and try to shame me into this shit and all that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand. I overstand this shit. So I'm telling you how you gotta get the hell up out of here. You gotta get the hell up out of here. You gotta build. You know what I'm saying? And hold down your fort, man. It's the only way. It's the only damn way, man.
I borrow $5. But I ain't got nothing else, man. I digress. You know what I'm saying? I digress. I stand in accord with you on the majority of what you said. I take more of a more, I guess, low-key approach, just to the way I deliver it. But I'm definitely I get it. We all get charged up about it.
It's like, damn, it's like you try the low-key approach and it's like They ain't trying to hear that, man. They ain't trying to hear that.
I'm
That's why they
cool
get a
like
lot
that.
of the people mad at a lot of these people that come with them harsh approaches and stuff like that. Because when they try it with the feeding them with kid gloves and shit like that, they like, this nigga get out of here, shit like that. Nah, they gotta hear it hard. And yeah, a lot of stuff you don't even like to be discussing plans and shit online and stuff like that. But it's like, when is the right time? Because you can't ever find the right time. It's always never the right time for nobody. Because everybody's always kicking it, either go to work and then kicking it, or it's always some type of reason. So when is the right time to start sitting down and having these type of discussions? You can't ever get it in. I've never had it, you know what I'm saying? Before, all this and, isolated instances, talking with people and things like that, but just a large discussion with family and different things like that, you're not going to get that. It's just going to be a bunch of, hey, you know what I'm saying? And kick it, let's eat, get fat, and talk about nothing. And we'll pray, you know what I'm saying? Get in the circle and pray to Jesus and whatnot, and, go from there. But it's not leading to anything, man.
His name is Yahweh, Corey.
Yahweh.
Nah, hey man, I stand in accordance with you. You know what I'm saying? Use your brain. Don't allow emotions to govern how you move. Super important to not allow emotions to govern how you move. Do your research, understand. If you don't understand, ask questions. But have a firm knowledge of, what you're up against. Understand what you're up against. You can't just study what benefits you, but you also have to study what may defeat you, what may conquer you.
Yes.
So understand that, like I said, all these protests, I support them. I love them. You know what I'm saying? I just went to a demonstration. It wasn't even a protest. I'm not going to call them protests. I just went to a demonstration today. Some young kids put some stuff together. You know what I'm saying? My daughters are putting together another one for tomorrow, to where, they want to bring awareness. And I support that because we need the next generation to be passionate about the change that we're asking for. Otherwise, we're just going to go back to what it's always been. So we need to encourage them and educate them in the right manners. My daughters were like, Black Lives Matter, motherfucker. I'm like, yeah, they do. And I support that, but understand that, if this was your mother who's white, you should feel the exact same way. Her right should equate to mine, and mine should equate to hers, and so, educate them, encourage them, empower them to get out there, encourage, empower yourselves, the adults around you, just don't sit back and agree with something that you don't even agree with. If you don't agree with it, say something. You don't have to be trite about it. Just say, I don't agree with this, and this is why I don't agree with it. It's not that you don't agree at all. You just may find a flaw in part of it, and maybe you are the missing puzzle piece to really putting it all together. But if you just sit back like, yeah, man, I feel you, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you a bad motherfucker. Don't do that. Don't do that. If there's something you agree with, say it. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with that, and be accepting of when somebody doesn't agree with you. Be like, all right, let me listen to what you're saying. Let me listen to what you're saying. Now, if they on some bullshit, listen and then walk away. But if they talk about something that's sensible, take it in, man. Chew up the meat and throw the fat and the bone in the trash. It's very important to understand, man. Dialogue is lost, and dialogue is not we both agree with each other. Dialogue is just a conversation in which we're listening to one another to try to see where we can, come to a common ground with it, or understand, maybe the pitfall in our thought process or something like that, because the answers are out there. We just have to have dialogue to really truly find them. And so, just really, really, really think about that. People really, really think about that, man. Go fix that goddamn Target up, man. Y'all need to fix that shit. That shit wasn't right.
Target got it.
Yeah, they gonna
got
fix it. They gonna fix it. They gonna tax the rest of the residents in the city to get
they
their building
will.
fixed back.
Yeah, that'll be coming out the paychecks. Yep.
But
Yep.
nah, man. Think first, react second, man. Jay Davis, I'm gonna tag you in this video. But you know, 'cause that's your slogan. I don't want to steal it. I'm giving you credit for it. Think first, react second. Super duper important. You know, support the things that matter to you and build them up. You know, if you see somebody on the ground level that has something that's good, build them up, help support them, share them, buy it. You know, be all of that. You know, find ways to support what you support, but don't just, you know, don't sit back. You know, if you see an entrepreneur out there, you know, selling socks, hey man, buy 2 pair and then promote that shit on social media or however you want to spread the word. You know, support that because there are a lot of good things amongst all this BS. You know, there's a lot of roses in the dirt. We just got to help them out, man. We just got to help them out. You know, if you want to change the system, if you want to break the wheel, you can't break the wheel without having another wheel to replace it. It doesn't work like that. If you want to break the wheel, you better be building a better wheel.
Yeah.
You better be building a better wheel.
Exactly.
You know, and so, you know, I digress, man. I digress. You know what I'm saying? I had a headache, you know, 30 years ago. I had a headache 30 years ago, man. Power to the people. Power to the people. Understand your power. Understand your worth.
Got anything else?
Randall?
Say, whoa. No. Nah,
where that shirt at? You wear that shirt at?
What you mean?
That shirt at? Where did you press the shirt up yet?
No, I'm gonna do it tonight.
Well, talk about it. Tell the people about it, man. This your platform. What Grant say?
My cousin Grant here said, "Why do you think it's so hard for us to help each other?"
Why is it hard for us to help each other? Because we've been indoctrined, you know, with the thought process that everybody's against us. That's why it's so hard to help each other, because they dug that shit into our brains that everybody is against you except for me. Ain't that everybody's against you except for me? I'm here to help, but everybody else is against you, and so we don't feel like we can trust anybody. You know, that's why a lot of people end up not getting down with each other, because we just got this, you know, we've been told forever.
Not just that.
Can't trust that, man.
Not just that, but ego, because you know, everybody is the push.
Everybody want to be the man.
Everybody wants to be the man. Everybody's got a messiah complex. It's me, you know what I'm saying? That's what America's taught everybody, with spotlight, media, and everybody buying into the bread and circuses, and we make it celebrities, the voices for everything. Like they, you know, we put them out there as if with the illusion that they the ones with the power when they really don't know much. So, you know,
but I want
even with that people don't even understand that a boss is a position himself. Everybody got a position to play, and if anything, the boss is the hardest position. The boss is the hardest position.
The hardest, the worst.
Yeah.
All of that shit. But it's take a risk.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna tell you. Take a risk. You know what I'm saying? And nope, I'm not even gonna say that. You know, what I'm going to say is take risk. Position yourself to be able to take risk. Position yourself to where your children will be able to take risk, or not. If it's not your children, those youth around you that you love, take a risk. You know, be a guide, not a leader, be a guide. You know, let them go in a path that they want to go on. Help guide them. Don't tell them what to do. Give them the tips. Give them the tools to be successful, and they're gonna be successful if you give them the tips and the tools. You know, but so often we want to tell somebody what to do. No, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I'm gonna give you the tips and the tools, and I'm gonna allow you to guide you. I'm gonna allow you to do your thing and be successful. Just hey, I'm gonna prop you up a little bit. Did you see that meme I posted? I posted a meme or a picture, and basically it was a picture of a white guy lifting another white guy up, and a black dude pulling another black dude down. And I was like, that's that mainstream thought process they put on us. And I'm not saying that shit ain't true. I'm just saying that it ain't just us, is what I'm saying. It's not just us that pulls people down. You know, every race does that because of ego, because of the fear of competition and what that competition may bring to the fold. You know, not understanding that, you know, it's enough out here for everybody to get a ham sandwich and some chips on a good day. You know, so understand that, man. You know, hey, I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. Matter of fact, hey, Grant, what you build, man? Holla at me, man. What you trying to build? You know what I'm saying? Talk to me. You know, if it's something I feel like I can get behind, I get behind it. You know what I'm saying? You need me to throw you a little change here and there if I think it's righteous, man. Hey, tell me what the PayPal is, and I'll put it in there, man. I see you over there being buff and shit.
Yeah. Grant got he got something going on himself, man. He doing
Holla at me, man.
Weightlifting tips, man. All different things, man.
Hey, Grant, post what you got on the page, man. Yeah, wherever we need to send people, we'll send them to you. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, so post what you got on the page, man, and we'll definitely show love and support. You know, you showing love and support by tuning in, sharing stuff. We appreciate it. We definitely want to return the favor, brother.
Yeah.
But we gotta bring it full circle.
What's your promote them shirts, Randy? What you got, man?
So yeah, man, everybody be on the lookout within the next couple months for season 1 of the Three Pyramids brand. You know what I'm saying? So be on the lookout. I'll probably do a video or two, and I'll be putting up photos. You know what I'm saying? So be on the lookout for the Three Pyramids brand. It's gonna be a bunch of just stuff that came out of this brain right here, this psychotic brain right here, and you know what I'm saying, with whatever I do, because I will collab in season 2. So season 2, I'm already working on, and I'm always down to collab with some people. You know what I'm saying, on ideas. But with all that being said, man, just stay on the lookout.
Hold on, nah, man, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Hey, my man's got t-shirts for sale. He got t-shirts for sale. So
not yet, but yeah.
As soon as he press a couple of them joints up, he gonna be putting some pictures up there. Y'all do us a favor and support this young man. This is a young mogul trying to build an empire. When he put the goddamn t-shirts online, please buy those motherfuckers. There you go. There's the plug for you, brother.
But no, man, I just I honestly want to just thank everybody that's been rocking with us from day one. I know we've changed, you know what I'm saying, and we do have to work. We are black, you know what I'm saying, so we do got to work on the CPT time just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because we tell y'all we gonna be.
I'm not black. Have you, man? Y'all better take y'all goddamn crayons out the damn box. I am mocha chocolate for the ladies.
Well, I'm caramel for ladies.
For the dudes, I'm brown, and I don't got good hair like him. All right.
But yeah, man, I just want to let everybody know, man, that I appreciate you. And I know both my brothers appreciate you, man. And everybody that's been commenting, you know what I'm saying? We see you guys. If we don't get to you guys, we do apologize, but the conversation get too good sometimes. And we gotta try to stay focused, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't want to lose focus. But with all that being said, man, please like, subscribe, and tell a friend about Word on the Ave podcast, man. Also,
YouTube.
Also YouTube, man. If you don't follow us on Facebook and you follow us on YouTube, it's a Three Pyramids Network, man. Three Pyramids Network. I'm pretty sure I'll put the link in the description of the show afterwards. So yeah, man, be on the lookout for that. And also Grit Sports Media for all your sports needs, even though we ain't got really sports. But you know what I'm saying, Corey, just give them a little synopsis of what the Grit Sports Media is all about.
No, we got sports, man. We gonna get to that. You know, that's some more. We building that, man. That one's building up slowly but surely, putting out content. We just been more focused on this everything that's been going on. You know, for
Trying to feed
I mean,
y'all
since
spirits, man. We trying to
since
feed
the
y'all
year started.
spirits.
Yeah, since the year started. So we've been focused on, you know, there's always time for the, you know, you can find some, you know, we'll get to the bread and circus later. But, you know, they got a lot of good stuff. We know our sports too, man. So we have fun. We have a lot of fun with that, man. And we give good insight, you know what I'm saying? Just like them cats on ESPN, Fox Sports One. Hey, we got it too, man. We give it to you.
We're better than
Raw.
Stuart Scott.
About to say,
We're
give it
better than
we
Stuart
raw.
Scott.
You know what I'm saying? We're not you know, we ain't got no
We ain't got to talk about Michael Jordan versus LeBron.
agenda. Yeah, Michael Jordan and LeBron James 24/7, man. But you know, yeah, we waiting for sports to open up. So we'll get some more stuff.
Yeah.
And like I said, hey man, if y'all got something, y'all got any questions on that side either, man. It's always open, man. We can talk about sports all day, man. It's got the link, type in questions or anything you got a topic you want to talk about, sports related, man, we'll get into that. But you know, yeah, like I said, right now we diving into we attacking the minds. We in the battle with mainstream media, and like I said, we really small, really small platform, but our minds and our, you know what I'm saying, our hearts are. We got the hearts of a billion people, man. You know what I'm saying? So hey, we out here, man, and we going to war with them, man. We're going to war. We're taking the hard route. So.
Yeah, and also be on the lookout for Unofficial Referees, which is our sports podcast. Yeah. So we have the Word on the App podcast, which is our mainstream podcast, and then we also have our sports show, which is Unofficial Referees. You know what I'm saying? Also, man, my brother Lauren in the building. Lojo speaks. I know it's been quiet, but I know it's something in the background that's been cooking.
Hey,
I've been smelling it.
You been smelling? Yeah,
I've
man.
been
Lojo Speaks, check it out. You know what I'm saying? On Facebook, LOJO Speaks. You know, podcast be coming soon called The Fatherhood, you know, focused on all things fatherhood. You know, we got to rebuild that bridge in the community, you know, all communities. So, you know, stay on the lookout for that. You know, I give you out a month of June off, but in July, I'm gonna hammer you out, man. So be ready, be on the lookout. You know, just support the brand and we'll give love back. That's all it is around here, man. You support the brand and we're gonna give love back.
Yes, sir, man. And with all that being said, this has been another episode of Word on the App podcast. And we out, man. Peace.